all you crazy cats and kittens out there in pod person land, welcome back to another episode of For the Love of Movies. I'm Sean Fawn. Today we're going to be talking about The Unholy. Yeah, The Unholy. So this is another one of them spirit trapped in a doll scare porn sort of movies, except this one they forgot to be scary, I think. It also has some weird propaganda tones, almost like feeling like it was sponsored by the Vatican, but we'll get into that in a little bit here. The story itself is pretty basic. It's about a disgraced reporter that's going out and working for cryptic stories for a low-budget blog, and hijinks ensue. He is basically thrust into this world of religious iconography and whatnot, which he seems to have some familiarity with, but I don't know, I might even be giving it too much credit already. For the most part, it is just, supposed to be a jump out scary sort of ring girl crawling quick towards the camera sort of movie, except it just fails at most of that. The first time that we see the big monster, it's in a dream sequence, and it's just almost comedic. Like the way that the monster is kind of coming up and moving, and like it's supposed to be that, sort of scary going at the camera sort of thing, but it's just got this weird sort of like cartoonish movement to it that really is just laughable in the screening itself. I was not the only one laughing at a lot of the scenes of the monster. And to me, that's probably one of the biggest downfalls of this movie, is that there's just too much of the monster. That being in time, we just linger on shots of the monster for way too long, and that just being in size, we are in very wide shots of the monster a lot, and it just that wide framing just has this sort of comedic element to it in general, and it takes away all of the sort of mystery and the scariness of this thing. And so from the start, you are not afraid of this thing, and you're just kind of waiting for that Brendan Fraser mummy moment of him to scream back in their face, because it's just kind of ridiculous. But the movie does take itself seriously, so that never really happens. The church stuff in general is just dumb. It feels like it was written from the standpoint of, we can't say anything bad about the church, and anything that is evil or weird or mystic has to be attributed to the devil or whatever. The church is good. The church is good. Please remember, the church is good. It really just had that intense feeling of veiled bad propaganda. Maybe I'm just reading into things. Maybe it has no connection whatsoever. I saw Sam Raimi was a producer. I have no idea what that means. But it is, it has a feeling of something that's trying to remind you of something rather than to entertain you or teach you something. And I resent that. That's not why I'm going to a horror movie, or at least not to be preached at religically. Not that there's any problem with religical movies. It's just, I guess I should have expected it with a movie called The Unholy, but I really just did not expect that level of abject fealty to the church. But beyond that, it's not a great movie in general. The characters weren't particularly interesting. The story wasn't particularly engaging. Nothing about it was new or novel. It is a movie that takes up space in the world. And I will point out that I'm certainly not a fan of horror in general, so definitely take my opinion with a grain of salt here, but I really wouldn't recommend anyone waste their time on this movie. There's really not much to get out of it that you couldn't get from a bunch of other movies that do it way better. Nothing new here, nothing really worth wasting your time on. Yeah. Other than that, that was The Unholy. This has been Father Love Movies. I'm Sean Faw. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do all of that stuff. Phone a friend. Tell me in the comments what I should see next. I got a few movies left this week, and yeah, there's not really a whole lot, that's calling my name. So tell me what I should subject myself to. If I don't hear anything, I might end up doing the Oscar shorts, which I don't even know that that's review worthy. Yeah. So, later. Bye.